worked, played, needed.
How do you say in English?
Helicopter.
In the very first pronunciation practice lesson, we focused on the pronunciation of words that end in ed. And this is part number 2. So really quickly, let's review. And as always, if you want to skip ahead to the start of the lesson, go to this time. One thing I want to reinforce, it isn't only the simple past tense of regular verbs that end in ed. Along with the simple past, we also have past participles and adjectives. For example, let's look at the word inspire. In the simple past, inspired. My old high school teacher inspired me so much. And because inspire is a regular verb, the past participle is also inspired. Beyonce has inspired women from around the world since the early 2000s. And then we also have the adjective, which is also inspired. I get inspired when I watch Gary Vee give a speech. So, it's not only the simple past tense we're focusing on with these ed pronunciation lessons. And remember, there are 3 different pronunciations of ed. id, as in needed, t, as in cooked, and d, as in played. And last time we focused on the t pronunciation, so this time we're moving on to the id. You might be thinking, how do I know when ed is pronounced id? Good question. And the answer is when the last sound before ed is t or d. And the correct pronunciation is the short I, as in it, and then d, id, needed. And here are some examples of words that end in ed and have the id pronunciation. Appreciated, attended, demanded, expected, included, rested, started, sounded, recommended. If you want, pause the screen and make some sentences with these words focusing on the pronunciation. When I actually get a full 8 hours of sleep, I feel so rested. I don't think anybody expected Russia to beat Spain in the World Cup. Okay, now let's focus on listening. We're going to watch a short clip from a Jim Carrey documentary. And in the clip, he's going to say, I think I needed color. So listen for the id pronunciation. Needed. I think I needed color. Here we go.
When I really started painting a lot, I had become so obsessed that there was nowhere to move in my home. Paintings were everywhere. They were becoming a part of the furniture. I was eating on them. I found myself looking around at one point in a really bleak winter in New York, and it was just so depressing, and I think I needed color.
Did you hear the id? Let's listen to the last part again.
And I think I needed color.
And I think I needed color.
All right, now let's do a couple listening activities and see if you can identify the words that end in ed and have the id pronunciation. So, in the first clip, this crazy looking lady is going to use a word that ends with an id sound. So listen carefully and try and catch which word she uses.
Hey, asshole.
Yeah, whatever. Here, you want to dance with me?
Yes.
Good. There you go. Yeah, good. Take a load off. Let these strong, sweet, sexual arms hold you, all right,
So
baby?
strong.
I got you. So strong, so strong. All right, night-night.
Ow!
No! You made me do that. You piece of shit! Yeah, maybe.
You piece of shit! Dennis Reynolds, I trusted you!
Why?
Did you catch what she said? If you want to listen again, go back. Otherwise, here's the answer. She said, Dennis Reynolds, which is the guy's name that she's dancing with. Dennis Reynolds, I trusted you. Trusted. I trusted you.
Dennis Reynolds, I trusted you!
Let's watch one more, and this time let's really test your listening skills. In this clip, this girl is going to use 2 words that end in ed and have the id pronunciation. Which ones are they? Which words does she use? Listen carefully.
All right, guys, sit down. We need to talk.
Corey, about the letter from Yale. I was just really excited about getting accepted, but I want to be with you, Corey.
That was really fast. Let's listen one more time.
All right, guys, sit down. We need to talk.
Corey, about the letter from Yale. I was just really excited about getting accepted, but I want to be with you, Corey.
So what did she say? She said, I was just really excited about getting accepted, but I want to be with you, Corey. So she used excited and accepted. And hopefully, you guys are looking at the screen right now very, very confused. If you're super confused, that's great because you already spot the error. And if you aren't, that's okay. We're going to learn something else. So she said accepted. But what she meant to say was accepted. So let's focus on these two words for a second. These two words are commonly confused or mispronounced, and sometimes they are pronounced in the exact same way by native speakers, especially by people from the States. And the truth is, and this is just my opinion, it's good for you to understand the difference, hear the difference, and practice using them in the correct way, but what she said sounded very normal to me. Even though technically it's incorrect, it sounded okay, and I understood perfectly. But let's look at these two words. Except is most commonly used as a preposition, and it means not including. I love every type of music except for country music. And the pronunciation is the short I, and then K, ick. And then the second and stressed syllable, sept. Except, except. And then we have the second word, accept, which is a verb that has a bunch of different definitions, but she's speaking about getting into college. So the meaning in this context is to allow someone to become a member of an organization. He was accepted by 3 colleges, and the pronunciation is the short A, like the A in hat, at, hat, and then K, ack, and then the second syllable, which is the same as the first word, sept, accept, accept. So the difference is the ick and the ack. Accept, accept. There are 2 scenarios in which these 2 words would be pronounced the same. And that's if the first syllable is reduced and has the schwa sound, or just like in the example clip we watched, if someone doesn't know the difference, or if they just pronounce them the same. So we got a pronunciation lesson inside of a pronunciation lesson. And that's why you got to hit that notification bell so you're not out there in the streets confusing people. The last activity we're going to do is fill in the blanks. Each of these sentences can be completed with a regular verb that has the ID pronunciation in the past tense. So take your time and try and figure out the best verb to complete each sentence. And if you want to skip ahead to the answers, go to this time. Otherwise, take your time and I'll give you a warning before I give the answers. All right, pause the screen if you need more time. Let's go over the answers. Number 1, my flight home landed 2 hours late last night. When I lived in Spain, I rented the smallest apartment. I wasted so much time last night watching YouTube videos. I shouted at her, but she couldn't hear me. I was going to go out last weekend, but I ended up staying home. If you had a different answer and you think it's correct, let me know in the comments. I'm sure that there are some other possibilities, and I'd love to hear what you came up with. Okay, that's the end of pronunciation practice number 5. As always, please let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas on how to improve. Also, let me know which other activities you think would be useful. In this lesson, we did some listening practice and fill in the blanks. Can you think of any others? Let me know.